Howdy-ho, neighborinos. It's time once again for your cybersecurity pal to offer up some more suggestions on how to keep the bad guys off of your computer and out of your stuff. This week, that phrase has some literal meanings for us, which should be clear momentarily. This time, I want to talk briefly about drive encryption, what it is, why you should care about it, if you actually need it, and if so, how to implement it. First off, to put it simply, when I'm talking about drive encryption here, I'm talking about scrambling the data on the hard drive inside your computer, mostly talking about laptops, in such a way that unless you input a special password or PIN, it's all gibberish when you look at that data. That way, if bad guys get physical access to your machine, they can't read anything on it, at least not without months or years working on it with the fastest computers we have right now. Now, you might be asking, but I have a Windows password or PIN that I have to type in every time I boot up my computer. Isn't that enough? Well, in answer to that, let me point you to a podcast I heartily recommend, Hackable, with a question mark, which is produced by McAfee. They have an episode titled Prying Eyes, and of course I have a link to it in the notes below. On this episode, as an experiment, host Geoff shipped his laptop to Tim Martin, a good guy penetration tester whose job it is to legally test out security systems by trying to break into them with the full permission of the owner. Tim received the laptop in the mail, and Geoff and Tim talked for a few minutes about the security on his laptop. Tim asked him general questions about his Windows password, which Geoff uses to log into his laptop. After a few minutes, Tim said, "Okay, let's get started. I'm going to use my super duper extra professional penetration tool known as a screwdriver." Tim proceeded to take Geoff's laptop and unscrew the bottom of the laptop, and he took out the small hard drive out of the laptop and plugged that hard drive into his own PC, not unlike you plugging in an external hard drive or a thumb drive. And it came right up for him. Tim could read, write, do whatever he wanted to with all the documents, photos, whatever files were stored on that hard drive. No Windows or PIN needed. In fact, in the podcast, Tim compares your Windows password or PIN to a turnstile on a big city subway. It's there to keep honest people honest, but is not going to keep actual bad guys out for any time at all. That's all it took for Tim to completely own whatever Geoff had on his laptop. If Tim was a real bad guy instead of this just being a simulation, and he had stolen the laptop or just found it at Starbucks, life would pretty much stink for Geoff. You see, that's the reality. If someone gets a hold of your laptop, then all they need to do is open it up, plug it in, and they have immediate access to everything on that drive. Unless the drive is encrypted. If it's encrypted, then the only way they can get into it quickly is by guessing the password or PIN. So that's why you might want to care about this subject. Now, I'll be upfront here. I don't encrypt my laptop. I never take it out of the house. I don't take it traveling because I usually don't go anywhere. And the odds of someone taking the trouble to break into my house to steal my laptop are pretty slim. But if you do take your laptop to Starbucks or McDonald's, or if you do travel and take your laptop to airports or hotels, you definitely need to encrypt that hard drive. And it should go without saying, but just in case I have anyone in the medical profession watching this video and you have a computer with any patient information on it at all, there's a thing called HIPAA, which you might have heard of, which is very explicit that you have to encrypt that drive. But I have some good news for you. First, it shouldn't cost you any money to get this done. Zip, zero, nada. Second, you don't have to be a tech guru or IT professional to do this either. There might be a little bit of a learning curve, but not much. So how do you implement this? Well, the answer depends on what Windows operating system you have. If you have Windows 10 Professional, then all you have to do is turn on Windows BitLocker on your system. It'll take some time to encrypt it, probably just a few minutes depending on how much stuff you have on your hard drive, and you're done. That's it. I did it on my wife's laptop, who is a doctor in chiropractic, and that's all it took. Link in the notes below, of course. But if, like me, you only have Windows 10 Home Edition, which does not include BitLocker on it, and you figure out you need to do this, I have another free option for you. Veracrypt. It's a completely free encryption service, and if you just follow the instructions in the link below, it should take no longer than maybe an hour or so to do it. Like I said, it has a little bit of a learning curve on it, but if you take your laptop out of your home on a regular basis, it might well be worth it. However, I do need to issue a small warning on Veracrypt. If your laptop is like the Surface Pro with a detachable keyboard, which communicates with your computer via Bluetooth, then as I've learned the hard way, you can't use Veracrypt on it. Anyway, that's it for this week. If you want to be notified when I post a new video with more cybersecurity goodness, then be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell button below. As always, thanks so much for watching, and God bless.